Testing, testing. Oh, I think it worked. What's up, Dennis? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already stuffed your face. Oh, hey, who's ever here, guys? Sorry, I'm not super proficient on these lives. I can't even see. Oh, yeah, I see a little counter there up on the top. But I can't see what I created as the title for this. So just bear with me here a little bit. It's still kind of early. I'm not going to sit around for 10, 15 minutes. Also wanted to kind of share my screen, but I don't think I can do that on this. I'll try. Hopefully I don't end the live by accident. I'm going to turn that slow chat off. Oh, there we go. I can see that I'm in here. I rescued a kitten the other day, so that's the noise that you hear in the background. Anyway, I'm just personally getting tired of hearing about the whole pro-Palestinian protests as if they're these super aggressive, violent riots that are just destroying America from within. There's so much spin being put on it, and so many outrageous claims of like just rampant, widespread, uncontrollable, uncontainable anti-Semitism. I'm not saying that groups of people are not attacking people just for being Jewish. I just find it a little bit ridiculous that they keep making these claims without anything to back it up. I mean, you could say that any group in America is being attacked right now. There's a hatred of vegans is on the rise right now. Anti-veganism is on the rise, you guys. Watch out. Be careful when you're walking down the streets. Sometimes they use subjective claims by people who are in this protected group as their evidence as to why anti-Semitism is on the rise, but I'm not super convinced. I'd like to see names, dates, and times, videos. I'd like to see official statements where, entire swaths of the U.S. population are saying, we hate, whoever. I don't want to say anything that gets me banned, but it just seems to be super contrived. And the cops' response, I'm learning now, is more a political ploy because they know that they've taken and are using multiplied millions and millions, if not billions of dollars of taxpayers' money to fund their ridiculous stupidity. Still doing raids on the wrong house, still raiding the wrong people and shooting and killing their dogs, even though they know they're at the wrong house. And on many occasions, shooting and killing the owners, despite knowing that they're at the wrong house. Their mistake. With all the advanced GPS systems that we have and the ability to this is the little peanut right here that's making all the noise. Are you hungry again? I literally just fed this little guy. Yeah, so I think that the cops are using this to justify all the millions and millions of dollars that they're taking and that they have stored up for for like national emergencies. You know, they've got to dust off their riot gear. A lot of these police departments haven't gotten to participate in anything like this in years, and they are just chomping at the bit to get out here and dress up in their double clown costumes. Not just the regular ones. They get the double clown up for these protests and just like super overreact, just super blow everything out of proportion. You see him just yanking and jerking people out of a group of peaceful protests where they're literally chanting peaceful protests. Now, obviously, you could be chanting that while you burn down a building. I'm not that dumb. I get it. But the point is, it's just a bunch of dopes with their arms interlaced saying chanting peaceful protest over and over again. And the cops are just jerking them out of the middle of the group as if they've just shot 14 cops, you know, in cold blood or something, and aggressively arresting them. And it's just like, what are you guys even doing? Like, what are you responding to? What are you reacting to? Normally, in almost every single one of these situations, the cops send in their own people to break things, light things on fire, attack their own officers, and then the person is obviously wearing boots and has like a fanny pack on. You can see the chain from their badge, you know, around their neck. Just so many telltale signs that they're cops, and no matter how hard they try and conceal themselves. And the crowd are the first ones to expose them as being cops in the crowd. And so I don't think that tactic is working anymore. I think that they stopped doing that crap because they know they're going to be getting sued soon. And basically the whole world now knows that the cops are the terrorists. Cops are the domestic terrorists in America. Okay, they're the ones killing people. They're the ones breaking and burning everything. It's not the pro-Palestinian protests. But just some of the keywords that are really pissing me off is, of course, the whole anti-Semitism thing. They just keep saying that over and over again on the news. Oh, it's on the rise. Anti-Semitism is on the rise. It's on the rise. It's on the rise. Blah, blah, blah. Hold on. Let me get past this. I think there's a chat. Oh, my God. There we go. What's the point of using video titles in all caps? It's so ugly. I have convinced a few auditors like Rogue Nation to stop doing that. Did I do that? I can't even see the title of my video, but I didn't do it in caps. Wait a minute. Hey, some people find caps to be very beautiful, by the way. Let me see here. I can't even. So that's the thing. I can't see the title. I'll have to see it later. Hey, if I'm wrong, then I apologize. But I don't think I did all caps on the title. I don't remember doing that. Your video title says, "Oh, there it is. You copied and pasted. Dang." All right. Hey, man. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't realize that. You know, it's also very possible that I typed it in lowercase and YouTube may default it to all caps as an attention grabber. I'm kind of leaning towards that because, yes, I do have some memory issues here and there, but that would be pretty dumb for me to not remember doing it in all caps if I did. But I'm almost positive that that YouTube changed it to all caps despite me typing it in lowercase. But hey, man, I'm all about it. It is. I don't know if I agree that it's necessarily ugly, but it is kind of sensationalist to have it in all caps. I definitely get your point on that. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, man. I mean, I just don't think it's a secret anymore. I think people are just like they're on to the fact that cops are just totally and completely out of control these days. They've gotten I shouldn't say they've given themselves such a bad rap that it's very hard for them to hide behind. Man, they even tried the I'm kind of pulling an Alex Jones here, jumping from one topic to the next. Oh no, it's not Palestinian colored. It's who was that guy? From the 80s, the president of no, but it's supposed okay. Palestinian isn't it? It's red and white checker, isn't it? I don't think that it's I don't think it's a black and white checker. But I see what you mean though. That's funny. Oh man. All right, what's going on? What's going on? What do you want? What do you want? You want to take over? But yeah, so I think that they're using this to justify the aggressive police response because of all the millions of dollars that they're using that they've spent on tanks and riot gear and all this stuff. Um, so they're loving it. And when I say cops, I mean Arafat. There you go. Yeah, that was the guy I was looking for. Thank you. Um, they're using it to justify their all of the equipment that they bought, their riot gear. So they're just showing up. And it's kind of obvious that the cops are there ready for a literal war and the protesters. Okay. I don't really think that universities give a damn about people putting tents on the campus. I'm sure it violates some type of Long Island audit was very offended that gang members were allowed to have legal representation. Like actual gang members, or was he referring to the cops? Also, yeah, welcome, man. Looks like you're a 1AA channel. So does the enemy's public. Are you? If you guys are able to put your channel in the chat, I don't mind that. Hopefully, you're not blocked from doing it. If you are, let me know, and I'll do my best to see if I can unblock it. But yeah, if you have a channel and you want to put it in here, at least maybe you might get a few extra clicks on it. Yeah, I just don't know if he's talking about literal gang members, because you put it in quotation. I think you're probably talking about the police. We're allowed to have legal representation. Yeah, so they're showing up super heavy-handed, like they're ready for a war, and it's literally just a bunch of people, a bunch of basically hippies in tents who are totally misguided, and they're adding all of their own agendas onto the pro-Palestinian protest because it's getting attention. So there's no such thing. For example, there's no such thing as um, gays for Islam. There actually is, but there isn't really. If you go to Islam as an Islamic country as a gay person, they're going to literally throw you off of a bridge. They don't take kindly to that type of thing. So it's obvious that these people have not, as usual, they haven't done their research. They don't even know what they're protesting. I totally get that, but I don't think you can just dismiss an entire movement just because there's some dumb people in the group. If that was the case, then both of our political parties would be considered illegitimate. Oh, wait a minute, because we have stupid people on both sides of the fence. Um, but yeah, anyway. So some of the terms that I'm really getting tired of hearing is this thing, as the whole anti-Semitism is on the rise, and they don't show anything to back it up whatsoever. I've seen a couple quotes from Jewish students saying that they're afraid to walk to classes, that they've been attacked, or they feel like they're going to be attacked because they're Jewish. Sorry, that doesn't count as anti-Semitism. That's just you being afraid. Um, and then the other one is when they're saying that there's outside agitators. So unless there's actually some physical violence taking place, you can't call people who are not students um, agitators. Okay, it's just people expressing their First Amendment. It's people expressing an opinion. Florida threatened students that if they participate in any of these protests, you'll be banned from attending school for 3 years. Now think about that. That's worse than jail for most of these students. So, God, Florida has turned out to be such a hellhole. My God, I wouldn't want to go anywhere near that state. And I thought that I agreed with most of the things that DeSantis stood for, and they have just gone totally fascist down in Florida, man. It's outrageous. Let's see. They're being very aggressive with children, voicing their concerns about injustice. Yeah, I agree with that, 100%. They're basically kids. They really are. I mean, even kids today, even in their 20s, they're still basically children. So I don't disagree with you at all. He was furious that someone who was prosecuting him was a former defense attorney who represented actual gang members. I see what you're saying. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Is he against public? Was Long Island saying that he's against public defenders? Was a former defense attorney. Okay, I see. In other words, he's kind of showing the double standard where this guy used to go into court and try and show how virtuous this gang member with teardrop tattoos was, showing kids of him playing with his kids in the yard, and not the picture of him robbing a bank or shooting someone. to say that why are you going after me, just a peaceful First Amendment guy, and you used to defend gang members. Yeah, exactly right. It makes no sense. They're just these little keywords, and what it does is it allows people to hold on to their bias. So everybody's, the people who watch Donut Operator, I hate to even give his channel's name on here, are all of the opinion that these are just a bunch of stupid. He even goes beyond them just being dumb college students protesting. It's like these are literal terrorists. Like if you're against genocide in Gaza, then you must be pro-terrorism. Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I agree. Their job as defense is to defend their clients, regardless of what they're accused of. Yeah, it kind of sounds like you disagree with LAA, Glass City. These are paid antagonists. Okay, yeah, I was kind of hoping that some people would come on here with what's even just an opinion. A low battery. All right, sorry, man, if you got to go. Appreciate it. I have the chat on replay, so I can read it later. I forgot to do that on the last one, so I couldn't tell who had commented. I wasn't able to respond. Their job as a defense attorney. Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think it should really matter. Long Island Audits is still doing his thing, though, man. That guy's large and in charge, man. He's the king of the campus, or king of the hill right now. And by the way, anybody on here? I know there's only like 6 or 7 of us. Does anyone know what's going on with Bay Area Transparency? I kept hearing that no one had heard from him, and I haven't had anything of his pop up on my recommended, and I haven't gone searching for him either. Just curious if anybody knew. If he's back or if he's what's up with him. Someone said he was in jail. They're wondering if he's okay. But yeah, so let me see. What were the other terms? Oh, it's on my side? Wait a minute. Are you actually hearing something saying low battery? Okay, let me plug in a charger. Hold on. It shouldn't take long. I do have a charger for this mic. I'm just completely blind. I can't see which one is. Low battery. Please charge. Okay. The only thing I'm using that runs on a battery is I have a little mixer that I use. It has like sound effects and stuff like this. Yeah, and that takes a battery. So I just plugged it in. It's charging now. So hopefully we're good now. If you guys can give me 1 second, I gotta go feed a little bit of this formula to this little tiny cat that I rescued. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, coming back. There we go. There, now you won't drink anymore. Freaking drunk. There you go, you damn drunk. What a damn drunk. Shoot. Yeah, it just seems a little bit exaggerated. The whole these are all paid actors. I'm just not buying it. I only start to believe that whenever I see what looks like obvious super aggression coming from the protesters. They're breaking things. They're spray painting things. That has happened. That has happened on a couple places. Um, but I really do think that these kids nowadays. I was in college, by the way, recently. Not well. Let me see. Not super recently. Probably 10 years ago. I'm sure it's gotten a lot worse since then. And man, what they're teaching in college nowadays is super hyper pro. Um, Man, how can I say it? It's basically communism. It's basically socialism that's being taught, and they're questioning American history, questioning a lot of stuff, and it's kind of there's quite a bit of anti-Americanism incorporated into college nowadays. So it's not a stretch to think that a lot of these kids really do believe that in what they're protesting against what they're protesting. I don't think these are paid agitators. Some people were saying because all their tents are the same color, they've all got green tents. If I want to buy a cheap tent for a protest that could possibly get torn down, cut up, or burned, or whatever the case may be, or stolen, I'm going to go to Walmart and I'm going to get the cheapest tent. That's probably the green tent that's like $9.99 or something. That's just a guess. And so the fact that a lot of them have the same colored tents to me is not evidence of anything. Sorry, I'm not buying the whole everybody's paid actors, blah blah blah. I'm not buying that this time. The Antifa and BLM riots, that was a little bit different. I still think that there were a lot of people who were actually genuinely upset about um, the George Floyd thing. Uh, Whether they just had a bunch of people joining them to do what's that called, looting or not. But that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, no, I really do think that it's kind of strange the way these campuses are cracking down on this so heavily, as if they really care that someone sets up a tent, on campus property. So suddenly now the police, millions of dollars of overtime and uniforms and training and transportation and shutting down roads and bringing guys in on their days off. Suddenly, because a college university says, "Hey, we've got some of our students who are being bad. Can you come and bring an entire army with you?" As if they're armed militants. It's just ridiculous. I'm here to defend the construction. I don't believe, but one thing the Constitution says. Oh, you must mean the Constitution, right? I'm here to defend the Constitution. I don't believe, but one thing. Oh shoot! You just made me think of another saying. I can't think of it right now. Damn it. Yeah, that's pretty good though. That's pretty good. Oh shoot! Yeah, I can't say I agree with everything that Long Island does or says. Um, but yeah, man, he's got a lot of wins though. He has gotten a lot of wins lately. His attorney was trying to say that he was actually surprised that the charges were dropped against uh, okay, what's his name, Sean Reyes, Sean Paul Reyes. Um, he wasn't actually. It's like he was saying he wasn't really expecting to win, and then Long Island Auto was all like, "Yeah, man, we did it. We got another one. We just had win after win after win." So hey, man, that's good. I mean, I'm okay with that because cops had for a long time, cops had decided that that they were just going to start arresting people for First Amendment auditing, and that whether the charges stick or not, they were using it as a chilling mechanism to chill their free speech. And in many cases, the prosecutors were going forward with it, despite the fact that in the same hearing on the same day, they're literally releasing. This happened to me when I got a ridiculous expired registration tag ticket. When I went to court and I sat in this little tiny corrupt municipal court in a super small town in Texas. That's another thing. My God, I'm so sick of Texas. I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm still trying to see the best in it as best I can. Sorry for everyone who's from here. Um, I just can't. I'm going to make a whole separate video about that. But anyway, I know people are born and raised here. They've had their whole families here. And Texas does a good job of keeping crime relatively low, unless we're talking about Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, and Austin. Austin has become a miniature Seattle now. But now I forgot what I was saying. Let me just read a comment here real quick. Good capitalist, her degrees in environmental science. To tell marathon. Well, that there is an acceptable amount of arsenic in. Oh yeah. Oh man, don't get me started on water. During the so-called pandemic, I did a whole video on water purity, and I went around to all the water dispensaries in my town. Yes, sir. Hello from New Jersey. Welcome. Um, I just heard something about New Jersey. Oh yeah, someone was doing a talk, and they were speaking about the bridge, the Washington Bridge up there that connects Jersey to New York, I guess, and how it's built, and you know how much weight it's able to withstand, when it was made, and all that kind of stuff. And I've been to Jersey. I have a buddy up there still. I was there in 2008, if you were even alive back then. Um, and I had one of those Mandela effects when I was up there. Yeah, I read your comment, by the way, Glass City. Environmental science, man, I'm surprised that a degree like that would have anything to do with encouraging capitalism, unless just in general that's what they were taught. Because uh, anything having to do with environment just is such ripe territory for you know environmentalism and teaching that humans are bad, and we've got to save Mother Earth, which I don't disagree with that, by the way. You can't go to any beach without finding trash floating everywhere. But yeah, I'm surprised. Environmental science. There's probably some pretty good jobs they can get. And yes, okay, but getting back to the water, my God, yeah, the water we drink is horrible. I have a reverse osmosis system that I use for my tap water, and even after I get it out of the reverse osmosis system, I then transfer it over to a zero water purifier, because zero water removes fluoride and arsenic, whereas most other systems leave the fluoride in there, which it's no longer the claims of wild and crazy conspiracy theorists that fluoride is not meant to be ingested in large quantities or at all. It's like drinking suntan lotion to prevent from getting a suntan. Fluoride is okay to use on your teeth to protect from cavities, if that's even true anymore. Like it's kind of some study they did in the 50s, but then they started putting it in the water. What I heard really what happened is that these huge industries that scrape the inside of those steam pipes that you see coming out of coal plants and other plants, all that white steam coming out, they have to scrape and scrub the sides of those exhaust pipes to make sure that they're clean, they meet environmental standards, and that the runoff or the chemical that's used is fluoride. And on the actual bag of fluoride itself, unless this was photoshopped, it says danger, poison, do not ingest. And so, basically, these huge companies were having to spend millions of dollars to dump this fluoride, and they weren't able to dump it into rivers and streams and places like that because it's a poison. And so they just basically lobbied to have it added to the water supply by paying a bunch of goofy scientists to claim that it's good for your teeth. And that's how fluoride started getting dumped in our water. And now they militantly protect it. Okay, you agree. So then how is that teaching communism? Let's see. Let me get back on track here. Yeah, no. Now, when did your son or daughter go to college though? Because I went back in 2013. And I'm just talking specifically about my American Studies class. That one was pretty good. American history was pretty good. But then there was one called Texas history, and then there was something else, some kind of political study too that I was in. And it was they made us read the source material was a book talking about how almost every president has been trying to go after Iran, and the lies that we've told them, and how that they're not really anti-American. And then there was another one all about the American Revolution, that American generals were promising emancipation to slaves if they fought for America, and then weren't keeping their word, and that hundreds and thousands of black slaves went to fight for England against America because England was on the spot giving citizenship and full rights to black soldiers who fought for England. So obviously there was an agenda there to show that, America's full of crap. We lied to the slaves, and we're trying to trick them into fighting in a war for us just because they needed troops, where England was actually giving them, their freedom. And of course, there was a lot of N words quoted in there from letters that were written from general to general. So, yeah, it seemed very. Glass City, if you got some time. Yeah, yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I totally get the apparent, how do you call it, contradiction. But you should look up. I can't spell her last name. Charlotte Iserbeat. It's like Izerbit, but there's like some other letters thrown in there. And she talks about how since the 1970s, she was appointed as the what we call today, like the whoever's in charge of education in America. I can't think of what their title is, and that the official agenda that was being taught in all American schools was a pro-communist agenda, or curriculum, I should say. And she has all of like the documentation to back it up and to prove it. So what I was saying is, and then while I was in there, they were lamenting the fact that the specific district that college was in is the area for Louis Gohmert, representative of Texas. And this guy was like, "We're never going to make any progress as long as Louis Gohmert continues to be reelected over and over again for Congress." Meaning that some of the agendas that they were trying to promote in that college are not ever going to be able to move forward as long as Louis Gohmert continues to be elected. Okay, man, New York, geez, that's like super super liberal. Um, so I'm surprised you didn't get any of the anti-American sentiment that's being pushed in a lot of schools today. She's been at college 2 years. Okay, yeah. So she went earlier. She went more recently than I did. Greetings from Detroit. What's a Gorf Patrol? Hey, at least I read you guys' comments, man. I see so many lives where like someone's in there like screaming, "Hey, hey, I need help with this. My house is on fire," and like the person just totally ignores them. But I mean, there's only 6 of us in here. It's not that hard for me to read the comments. I think I might have put it on, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to change it. Like a dummy. I put it on slow chat, which I should not have done. So I think it makes you wait a minute before you can comment again, and that's stupid. But I can't see where I can change that. So sorry about that. Gorf was a 1981 video game. Oh yeah, no, it is. That's cool. I also whatever I do when I see a word that I don't understand or doesn't make sense to me, I'll read it backwards, which in this case it's frog. So maybe somebody just was trying to look for an interesting way of saying, coming up with a goofy name for a video game, and they just decided to say frog backwards, which is Gorf. But yeah. So anyway, I'm probably gonna get most of the reactions to this video. We're already at 30 minutes. I'm gonna have to end it here pretty soon. On when it's actually a video versus online. But I did just kind of want to go live instead of just making another video. I'll just go live. Maybe there's some people who have like a passionate stance on this topic who want to jump in here. And I also don't know how to have people call in. I think that's a separate software. I'm going to be looking into getting that to where people can actually call in. That's a pretty good feature. You can actually hear someone talking. They have a chance to like make a good point. So that'd be cool to do. But anyway, man, I don't know. I just don't like it. Cops are being able to grandstand and justify all the millions of dollars that they're using for their stupid riot control when there aren't any riots. I haven't seen one video of a riot yet. I just keep seeing cops beating the crap out of people and arresting kids. What the government authorities here in Quebec for naming his child Judas. Wow, my God! So the government's telling him what to name his child, Judas. Well, man, Canada, geez, Louise, they freaking arrest you for like the smallest thing up there, man. I've always thought that Canada was such a bastion of freedom. Um, they don't extradite people that are like wanted for acts of. Well, I'm always gonna say alleged acts of terrorism. But they'll tell their own citizens what to name their child, Judas. The government claims the name is unusual and cruel. Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. It also is kind of gets into a little bit of a separation of church and state thing too. So the government believes that Judas was an actual person and that he actually, yeah, I don't speak any French, unfortunately. Here's the crazy thing, though. Little known fact. When I was a kid, I did speak French because my parents lived in Africa for like 3 years. My sister was born there. And yeah, and so I actually used to speak French as a kid, but I don't remember any of it. Yeah, so no, I mean, so that's kind of weird. Like, why are they saying that? Why are they having any opinion? It's just a name. What people choose to believe about that name is up to them. Yeah, they might get ridiculed a little bit if you. Hey guys, look, man, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go out tonight. All right, we're gonna break curfew. It's a school night. We're gonna go out. We're all gonna spray paint some cars or some houses. All right. Don't bring Judas because you already know what he's gonna do. So I can definitely see that being an issue. But hey, man, that's up to the parents. And you can always change your name if you want to. I mean, he won't be able to do it as a kid, but he can when he's an adult. Office of the government called civil registry. They say it would be cruel for the child to be named after a famous traitor. I mean, I'm glad they have that opinion of what's called and I'm saying this tongue in cheek, what's so-called fictional character. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, but that's interesting. That's an interesting debate. Um, what was their, like, how far did it go? Did they, please don't tell me they imposed some type of a fine or told the parents they're not allowed to name their child that? Was it just that they saw what they were going to put on the birth certificate or what they put on it, and then they like addressed it officially? I don't know how they do things in Canada exactly. I know it's somewhat fashioned after the Canadian. Oh, I meant to say that the British government, where uh, instead of getting arrested, they take you in and they formally chide you. You have been formally chided for kicking over rubbish bins in the so and so province. Man, how do you even pronounce that? Is that Jax or Jacques? It's not a fine, but the government can't order them to select a different name. Wow. Yeah, see, that's the scary thing. It's a slippery slope, man. First, you tell me what I can name my kid, and then what else can they tell you to do or not do? That's what's wrong with it, man. That's what's wrong with government being involved in people's lives so much. Now, at the same time, and I'll say this, and this is better saved for another chat, I'm sure, another live, is that I personally found myself celebrating people getting pulled over when I did a short stint recently as a truck driver for about 6 months. There's a lot of aggressive truck drivers out there. I feel like I made a video on this. No, I didn't. Um, yeah, I don't think you can. Hey, I mean, if you want to name your child Jihad, that's fine. That does sound a little. It sounds a little extreme to me, but again, like it's kind of like that whole thing is like I can't disagree with something that somebody says. Yeah, that's right. He killed baby Jeebus. Um, yeah, but a short sentence truck driver. Man, there's so many aggressive truck drivers on the road, and I found myself driving terrified most of the time that one of these ultra super hyper aggressive truck drivers is going to run me off the road, cause a huge crash that I get stuck in, or hit me. And so when I'd finally get one of them getting pulled over by the cops, I would be like, "Yes, get him!" And then I was like, "Man, why am I being such a Darren right now? Like celebrating that this truck driver who's trying to make a living is getting pulled over by domestic terrorists." But at the same time, I was like, "Yeah, but this guy is actually doing something that puts my life at risk." And I wasn't necessarily seeing the cops as my saviors or heroes, but I was just glad that there was some type of a system in place that caused a deterrent to this person's actions that I deemed as inappropriate and dangerous. So again, that's a topic. That's another topic for another whole thing. I was going to talk about the. Let me go back to the comment up here because I was going to talk about a Mandela effect that I. This is a little known fact, you guys. I've never told anybody this on this channel. It's breaking here now for the first time that I have an entire channel dedicated to the Mandela effect. The reason why I had never linked it up with my It's Just a Camera channel is because I was concerned that while people already questioned my sanity because I don't worship the government, that they would just use that as cannon fodder to further attack my character. But I'm starting to care less and less the older I get. Um, there was something in here that made me think about. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Yeah. All right. Judas Church. Oh God, is that true? That's crazy. Palestinian parents are like, yeah, I'm trying to 10, probably 25 plus years driving. Oh shoot. Okay. So truck driver there. Wow. Dang. Yeah. No, I hit. I didn't hit 48 states, but just in those 6 months, I probably did. Man, I did California, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Nebraska, Illinois. My God, Illinois is the worst driving I've ever seen in my entire life. California has got nothing on Illinois. Illinois drivers are absolutely insane. Oh, hey, Glass City. No, I did not call the cops. Don't get me wrong. And no, I never call other men to solve my problems for me. I just was saying that I wasn't a Karen in the sense that I called the cops. Just when I would see a truck driver getting pulled over, I couldn't help but feel like, all right, yeah, that guy deserved it. You know what I'm saying? But no, it wasn't me calling the police. Definitely not. Uh, Interesting debate that I don't think is real. What's the debate that you don't think is real? Jihad. Oh yeah, jihad means holy war. Yeah, no, I know. But still, it's like it's just such. There's such kind of like Judas. There's such a negative thing associated with it that I can't imagine that going good. Man, the priest wouldn't baptize him. That's kind of crazy. It is I think it is an interesting topic of discussion. Whether the government can tell you what to name your child if it's going to be something weird. But they can't tell you you can't have children. That's the crazy thing. You need a license for everything else, but anyone can just produce another human being in the world. But then the government immediately jumps in there and gets involved and forces them to go to school, indoctrination training camps, and tells you what to name them. I just think it's ridiculous. But you can't really get a good job unless you go to an indoctrination training camp. So, well, all right, guys. I fear I've said too much. I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Appreciate the 7, 8. I think we got up to about 12 at one point. That's a new record. I'll get better at. I want to do the fancy thing where the comments scroll across the front of the screen. Or Dearborn, Michigan, fine foods. Yeah, that's a good another topic of discussion. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Been going in here. You guys have a great night. Take care.